Hey, yeah, I'm talking to you. Sitting there scrolling through life, feeling like somehow everyone else has it figured out while you're stuck questioning yourself. You ever look in the mirror and wonder, am I really enough? Am I doing what I'm supposed to? I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. Truth is, most men before 50 are walking around blind, thinking success is about the car, the house, the paycheck. And meanwhile, they're losing something far more valuable: themselves. Let me be brutally honest. You were never taught how to be a man. Not really. Most of the advice you got growing up was about being useful. Get good grades, play the sport, follow the rules. That's not manhood. That's compliance. And now you're paying the price. Self-doubt, shallow relationships, stress that never seems to leave. You're exhausted, but you don't know why. Here's the thing most men refuse to admit. Your worth isn't measured by what you do. It's measured by what you know about yourself, how you handle your emotions, and how you respect your own boundaries. Yet society makes us believe it's the other way around. So you hustle, you work, you grind, and somehow you still feel empty. Sound familiar? By the time most men hit 50, they've been conditioned to chase validation while ignoring the quiet truths that really matter. Things like, how do you react when no one is watching? How do you handle failure without losing yourself? These are the invisible tests life gives you, and very few men pass. And that's what this video is about. The hard truths, the things almost nobody talks about, the lessons that can change your life before it's too late. I'm going to take you through 5 things every man should know before 50. Controversial, uncomfortable, but necessary. Each one will challenge what you think you know about yourself, your relationships, your career, and your mind. By the end, you'll either be ready to wake up, or you'll keep wandering through life wondering why nothing ever feels enough. So buckle up, because I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm here to make you think, and maybe, just maybe, help you become the man you were always meant to be. 1. You were not taught to be a man. You were trained to be useful. Let's start with a question. When was the last time you felt proud of who you are, not what you did? Not the promotion, not the car, not the Instagram likes, but just you. If that question made you pause, good. Because most men never even think about it, and that's exactly the problem. See, growing up, the world didn't teach you to be a man. It taught you to be useful. Think about it. From school to work, society values compliance over character. You were rewarded for following the rules, for performing, for being someone people could count on, but not for understanding yourself, your fears, your desires. And here's the harsh part. The older you get, the more you realize that usefulness doesn't equal fulfillment. Psychologists call this role confusion. Men are socialized to chase external validation, status, money, approval, while ignoring the internal life that actually shapes happiness. So by the time you're in your 40s, you're exhausted, maybe successful on paper, but secretly questioning everything. Why do I feel empty? Why do my relationships feel shallow? The answer isn't outside of you, it's inside. Here's the twist most men miss. The world rewards competence, but life rewards authenticity. You could be the best at your job, the perfect husband, the reliable friend, and still feel hollow if you've never been trained to understand your own mind. Your sense of self is the foundation of everything. Without it, all the achievements in the world are just noise. Ask yourself this. When you were a boy, who taught you how to handle failure, loss, or fear? Who told you it was okay to feel sad, angry, or uncertain? Chances are, no one did. And now, as a man, you're paying the price. Men who ignore this tend to burn out early, struggle with intimacy, or get stuck in routines that feel meaningless. But here's the solution. And it's simple, though not easy. Start knowing yourself. Ask uncomfortable questions. Sit with your thoughts. Understand what triggers you, what inspires you, what scares you. Not to impress anyone, not to get validation, but to anchor yourself. Research shows men with higher self-awareness report greater life satisfaction, stronger relationships, and even better career outcomes. Self-awareness isn't soft, it's survival. And here's the most controversial truth. If you're waiting for someone else to teach you this, forget it. Nobody cares more about your self-understanding than you do. Most advice out there is just a shortcut to looking successful on the outside, while your inside quietly crumbles. You need to take ownership now, or risk reaching 50 feeling like a stranger to yourself. So, the first step? Stop measuring your worth by usefulness. Stop thinking your value comes from how much you produce or how dependable you are. Your worth comes from knowing who you are when no one is watching. That's the man the world needs, and the man only a few ever become. 2. The world doesn't reward kindness. It rewards boundaries. Let me ask you something. How many times have you said yes when every bone in your body screamed no? How many times have you helped, compromised, or bent over backward, only to feel drained, invisible, or even taken advantage of? If that hits too close to home, welcome to the club most men never admit exists. Here's the truth nobody wants to tell you. Being a good guy won't save you. Being kind, loyal, or dependable doesn't automatically earn respect. And here's the kicker. Psychologists have proven it. Men who fail to set boundaries are far more likely to experience stress, resentment, and even depression. Your instincts to please, to be the nice guy, are sabotaging your life in ways you don't even see. Think about it. The world doesn't reward availability. It rewards boundaries. People respond to clarity, firmness, and self-respect. When you set limits, you signal that you value yourself. And when you value yourself, others are forced to treat you differently. It's not arrogance, it's psychology. Humans, especially in professional and personal relationships, unconsciously respect those who aren't endlessly pliable. Now here's where most men get it wrong. They confuse kindness with weakness. They think saying no is selfish, that asserting their needs will make them unlikable. But the reality? Weakness is hiding behind forced compliance. Weakness is letting everyone else dictate your life while silently resenting them for it. Strength is protecting your energy, your time, your mind. Boundaries aren't cruel, they're survival tools. Ask yourself this. How many opportunities have you missed? How many relationships have failed? How many days have felt meaningless simply because you didn't know how to say enough? If you're honest, the answer is probably more than you can count. And that's not a coincidence. That's a pattern built from years of ignoring the simplest principle of human interaction. Respect yourself first. Here's the paradox. The better you get at boundaries, the more kindness becomes powerful. People notice it, they gravitate toward it, they respond to it. But here's the thing. They only notice it when you stop giving your energy away for free. When you learn to protect your mental and emotional space, kindness becomes a choice, not a default. And choice, real choice, is irresistible. So the question now is, are you going to keep being the nice guy who burns out quietly? Or are you going to start drawing lines that make people respect, fear, or at least notice your limits? It's uncomfortable at first, but like every skill worth mastering, it pays exponential dividends over time. Remember, most men never learn this before 50. They die thinking they were weak because they were kind, never realizing that strength and kindness are inseparable, but only when backed by unshakable boundaries. That's the secret most men miss, and the one that will completely change how you move through life, if you actually grasp it. 3. Your emotions aren't weakness. They're warnings. Let's be real for a second. How many times have you been told, man up, don't be soft, or stop overthinking. Chances are you've internalized that message more than you realize. And now, you're sitting there wondering why life feels heavier than it should. Here's the truth: nobody tells men often enough. Your emotions aren't a weakness. They're your internal warning system. Most men have been trained to ignore feelings, suppress anger, hide sadness, or mask fear. And the cost of that suppression? Chronic stress, shallow relationships, and a constant sense that something is off, but you can't put your finger on it. Your body and mind are sending signals, but society has taught you to ignore them in the name of being strong. Think about this. When you feel uneasy about a situation, that gut feeling isn't paranoia, it's information. When anger rises, it's not toxicity. It's a signal that a boundary has been crossed. When sadness or disappointment hits, it's not weakness. It's a reflection that something in your life isn't aligned with who you really are. Ignoring these signals is like driving a car with the warning lights turned off. Eventually, something will break. The scary part is that men often mistake emotions for failure. If I feel fear, I'm weak. If I cry, I'm not a man. But psychology shows the opposite. Emotional awareness is strongly correlated with better decision-making, deeper relationships, and higher overall life satisfaction. Your feelings are data. They're meant to guide you, not define you. Here's the loop most men get stuck in. You ignore the warning, life punishes you, and then you tell yourself you're failing. But the truth? You're failing because you ignored the warning in the first place. You weren't weak. You were misled. Society lied about what strength really is. Strength isn't bottling everything up and pretending nothing hurts. Strength is noticing the signal, understanding it, and responding intelligently. So, start paying attention. Start listening to what your body and mind are telling you. When you feel doubt, fear, or frustration, don't run from it. Sit with it. Ask why it's there. What is it trying to protect? What is it trying to teach you? Every emotion has a purpose. Every feeling has a message. Most men never understand this before 50. They coast through life avoiding feelings, only to find themselves disconnected from themselves and others. But if you start recognizing emotions as guidance instead of weakness, you'll notice a shift. Your decisions become sharper, your boundaries become clearer, your life becomes more aligned. Your emotions aren't the enemy. They're the map you've been ignoring. And if you finally start following that map, you'll stop wandering aimlessly and start moving purposefully. 4. Your comfort zone is the most dangerous place you live in. Let me ask you something. How often do you convince yourself that this is enough? That the job, the routine, the life you've built is safe, and that stepping outside of it is risky? Here's the harsh truth most men never admit. Your comfort zone is not safe. It's a trap. And the longer you stay there, the more it quietly destroys you. Think about it. Every habit you cling to, every routine you justify as stability, is another wall keeping you from growth. Men get addicted to comfort, mistaking it for security. But life doesn't reward comfort. It rewards risk, curiosity, and boldness. Stagnation feels safe, but it's slowly suffocating your potential. Here's a little criticism you need to hear. Too many men spend decades avoiding challenge. They fear failure more than they crave progress. They settle for predictability because it's easier to manage than uncertainty. And yet, every day, they stay in that zone. A little piece of ambition, courage, or passion dies. By the time they hit 50, they're shocked to realize how much life they've wasted playing it safe. Ask yourself this. How many dreams have you abandoned because they seemed inconvenient? How many opportunities have passed because you were too comfortable to stretch? Growth doesn't happen inside your living room, your office, or your familiar routines. It happens when you step into the unknown, when you test yourself against challenges that scare you. And here's the advice you need. Wake up. Start small if you must, but start moving toward discomfort. Say yes to the hard conversations, the new projects, the experiences that make your stomach twist. These are the moments that shape men into who they're truly capable of being. The longer you avoid them, the more your life becomes a slow accumulation of what-ifs. Psychology supports this. Men who regularly push beyond their comfort zones report higher confidence, better problem-solving skills, and a stronger sense of purpose. Your mind and body were designed to adapt, to thrive, to grow, but only if you allow them to. Staying comfortable is a betrayal of your own potential. So consider this a wake-up call. Comfort is seductive, but it's also dangerous. Every day you cling to the familiar, you're not preserving safety. You're quietly eroding the life you could have had. Step out, challenge yourself, risk failure, feel uncomfortable. Because discomfort is the raw material of transformation, and transformation is the only way you become the man you were meant to be. Most men never realize this until it's too late. Don't let yourself be one of them. 5. You don't need to be liked. You need to be respected, even by yourself. Here's something almost no one will tell you. Trying to be liked is one of the fastest ways to ruin your life. Men spend decades bending themselves, muting opinions, and doing what they think others want, only to wake up at 50 feeling invisible, powerless, or unfulfilled. Liked doesn't equal respected, and respect, real respect, starts with yourself. Think about it. How often have you stayed quiet to avoid conflict, agreed when you didn't mean it, or smiled through frustration just to keep someone else happy? That's the trap. People don't admire a man who constantly seeks approval. They exploit him, overlook him, or underestimate him. Liking is superficial. Respect runs deep. Here's the truth that changes everything. Self-respect is magnetic. When you set standards for how you allow yourself to be treated, others instinctively respond. But this only works if you don't compromise your values to be liked. Being respected, even by yourself, requires honesty, courage, and a willingness to stand alone when necessary. Ask yourself this: do you change who you are to fit in? Do you avoid saying what you believe because you fear judgment? If so, you're living someone else's life, not your own. And here's the thing. Psychology shows that men with strong self-respect report better relationships, higher confidence, and a clearer sense of purpose. Respect fuels success. Approval fuels anxiety. Here's where most men get it wrong. They confuse rejection with failure. Being disliked at times is not weakness. It's proof you're living authentically. You will never control everyone's perception of you. Stop trying. Focus instead on being a man who commands his own respect, who honors his values, and who refuses to shrink for someone else's comfort. The loop most men fall into. They fear disapproval, so they compromise, so they lose self-respect, so they chase validation harder. But the solution is simple. Choose respect over liking. Make decisions based on your principles, not someone else's opinion. Say what you believe, stand for what matters, and honor your own limits. Over time, the people who truly matter, family, friends, colleagues, will gravitate to that strength. Here's the controversial truth. If you've spent your life seeking approval, you've wasted precious time. Liking is temporary. Respect endures. And the most powerful respect is the one you give yourself. Because once you have it, the world can no longer manipulate you, intimidate you, or ignore you. You become unshakable. So, before 50, understand this. You don't need to be liked. You need to be respected, even by yourself. And if you start living that way, everything else, relationships, career, peace of mind, will follow naturally. Here's the brutally honest truth nobody else will say. Most men will die before 50, never truly knowing themselves. They'll chase money, approval, and comfort, thinking that's life, and it's not. That's the uncomfortable reality. If you're sitting here nodding because it hits too close to home, good. That means you still have a chance to change the course. The hard part? Change requires looking in the mirror and being honest with yourself. No excuses, no blame, no hiding. Ask yourself, am I living for myself, or am I living for what everyone else expects? Am I respecting myself, or just hoping others will? The difference between men who thrive and men who drift is brutally simple. Self-awareness, boundaries, emotional honesty, and respect for yourself above all else. I want to hear from you. Comment below your experiences, the struggles, the wake-up moments, the lessons you've learned. I read every single one, and I will reach out. This isn't just a video. It's a conversation, a connection. Because if you've realized anything from this, it's that no man should navigate life alone. Remember this one thing: the world won't hand you respect, purpose, or clarity. You have to claim it. And the moment you do, everything changes. So, are you ready to stop drifting and start truly living?